Hello, and welcome to At All Hours. I'm your host, Greg Ramirez, and we are back. We were gone. This time we were actually gone. So me saying like, oh, we're back. We're so back. All that, dude. Before, it didn't even matter. Now, we're actually back. Well, we were actually not too gone before, but we were really gone for a while, and then came back, and then we're gone for like a week because I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but I just didn't get to do it because it's been crazy, man. It's been a pretty weird life generally, but past few months been particularly hectic. It's mostly just me, I'm kind of a weird entity, if you will, and things just happen, man, and the thing is, I kind of touched on this before in previous episodes where like doing cultist, like it's just me doing everything, so there's no like push from anyone else. Right? Now with At All Hours, it's like a small team that keeps the operation running. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like it doesn't matter how much of a team you have. I don't have like a contract. I don't have to hit like certain things. Like I'm doing it because I want to do it. So if I don't have this like drive to sit down and record, then there's nothing to edit. There's nothing to post. There's no social media. There's no, it doesn't matter what the team is if there's no content that I'm making for the team to put out, So it's kind of a weird place. And you think it's an hour, you sit down for an hour per week and just record, you sit and talk to yourself or you sit down with the guest. And you think like, oh, well, it's fucking easy. Well, you do it then. You can't sit down and make an hour's worth of content every week. You do it then. Well, I don't think I'm that funny. It's not easy being fucking cheesy, idiot, okay? You don't get to just be like, why don't you just do it? You do it. I didn't mean to get this confrontational so early on. We're like a couple minutes in. It just feels good to be back, I'm glad we're sitting here together. Look at us. It's like we were never gone, You ever think about that? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so yeah, it's been weird, and even though it is just kind of sitting down talking to myself, like what else is new? It's just been like there's a lot of things kind of going on, and then even just coming home from work, even though it's like sitting down and recording an episode of a podcast isn't really exhausting in any way. You're just sitting and talking for an hour, which is not hard. Like I understand that, but anyone that knows, it's like being at a job where you're like talking to people for 8 hours. You just kind of get this like you have to be in this kind of frame of mind to be able to speak consistently, like constantly, basically, and it's like there's times where you get home from work and you're not necessarily like physically exhausted because you're like doing so much, or even if you are kind of tired, it's more just like sitting and having to deal with like people all day, talk to people all day, and you kind of have this like brain fog, which is something that I've just like had generally the past few months, and it just kind of feels like nothing's going into my head and nothing's able to come out. So it's just like that. It's like this constant haze, and it's just kind of weird. And when you get home, you're already having to kind of put on a mask to go to work, at least to some extent, And then you get home and you're like, ugh, now I just want to I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to pretend to be conversational right now, and sit and talk to myself even. Like, I don't even want to talk to myself. So, and then there's other responsibilities you have, obviously. So it's like you don't get like just a bunch of free time. So like the past couple months were super hectic and busy and eventful, like Thanksgiving passed, and which made me think Like Thanksgiving, personally, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. Okay? It would be the black sheep in this, okay? I feel like a lot of people don't fuck with Thanksgiving. I think they're wrong and foolish because I think they have shitty families or that's probably it. Like, why else would you not like Thanksgiving? It's like you get together with people you care about and you make food together. How is that bad? How do you not like that? If you were just like, oh, we're gonna have like a potluck dinner, I'm gonna make this thing and host it at my house, and we're gonna have a bunch of friends over, and you'd be like, that's awesome. That's Thanksgiving, idiot. But then they're like, oh, I don't like Thanksgiving food. Bro, grow up. Okay? Grow up. And also, if you're hosting Thanksgiving, there's no such thing as Thanksgiving food. Well, there is. One of my friends asked me what to bring for Thanksgiving and was like, I'm like, well, look, here's the list of what everyone's bringing. Like, this is what I'm making. This is what everyone else is bringing. And he's like, all right, I think I'm going to bring a cake. The fuck are you talking? A cake? And I'm like, okay. Like, okay, Thanksgiving cake, I guess. Like, you don't think, like, what do you think of when you think of Thanksgiving, like, desserts? Say it. Louder. Yes, pie. Right? You think of pie. Not cake, but whatever, you know, but I'm like, okay, sure. Bring cake. But there's going to be a lot of desserts already. And he's like, all right, you know what? I'll just bring pizza. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, pizza's not, you can bring something that you didn't make yourself. That's completely fine and valid. Because Thanksgiving should be kind of like ideally, Thanksgiving is like where you get together, you make food for your loved ones. That's the way I see it. But like, if you're not able to, or if you can't cook, or if you just don't have the means to, then yeah, the whole point is to really just bring food for everyone. And if you do that, then like, that's fine too. You know, like the main point of it all is to bring food for the people you're with, your loved ones, presumably. But that's really the point of it. But it also kind of like completely goes against what I'm saying, like what I'm preaching, by complaining about someone bringing pizza. But it is a weird choice, right? Like, that's not weird to be like, don't bring pizza. Like, if that's all you can afford, sure. But that's not the case. Like, it was just like, I don't know what to bring, I'll bring pizza. But also, you don't have to bring, like, it's not like an obligation to bring something. It's like, if I'm inviting you, I want you to come. I want you to ejaculate. I want you to just show up, hang out. If you have the means to bring food, awesome. If you have the means to bring homemade food, even better. But it's not like an obligation, you know. I don't invite people with like, if you want to come, then you have to bring something. Or it's like if you're going to come over and you're going to bring a side, it has to be a homemade. Like, no, the only thing I ever try to coordinate is that like people aren't bringing the same thing. So I don't have like, you know, 2 plates of like 2 huge dishes of like macaroni and cheese, and like, oh, what am I going to do now with all this macaroni and cheese? You know, like, I just didn't want to have to do that. So usually that's what I do, is just coordinate with everyone. But other than that, it's kind of like free game. But it is a weird choice. I don't know. He ended up, I think him and his girlfriend brought like a pie and then something else. I don't remember. But it worked out. They got the pie that we didn't have. It's like Thanos' rings, you know? Anyway, but it made me think too, because a long time ago, possibly just a year ago, which is like 2 years ago, I posted on like Instagram, like I used to do these brackets a lot, and I did a Thanksgiving bracket one year where it's like you know, you like vote on whatever 2 items it is, whichever one wins goes to the next round, and then so on and so forth. Whatever. You understand how brackets work, I'm sure. But I did it one year. I think it was like macaroni and cheese that won or something. I don't even remember. But it made me think. It's something that I didn't really think about bringing up until Thanksgiving now passed. What would you say is your like 4 essentials for Thanksgiving dinner? Because this is something that I've brought up to people and they just do not like agree. This is also like your preference. Like if you're going to host Thanksgiving, what are you like, okay. Or if you're going to a Thanksgiving and you're like, these are the 4 things that need to fucking be there. You'd be surprised. I was surprised when people were voting and I see the votes. I think I tried to pair things together too, to kind of, because this is another thing. People are fucking out of their mind and they don't know how brackets work. Where basically, you know, if you have a big bracket of like competitions, you'd put them together and then they would eventually go up against the winners of the other, you know, rounds. And people were complaining because I'm not matching up similar items. How does that make sense? They're going to have to go up against each other anyway. What difference does it make what order they're in? For instance, if it was like turkey versus ham, 2 pretty big, like, you know, options for Thanksgiving. Usually it's both. I make both when I host. Those are like the 2 things that I will make and then have everyone bring sides, right? So that's usually like a solid pair up. Turkey against ham. Which do you prefer? Vote now. Hurry up. Okay, Jesus. All right, it's going to take 5 to 7 business days to process that, but we'll get back to you. So when you vote, it's like, okay, I chose ham. Okay? We got your vote a little early. So now the next round is like mashed potatoes versus macaroni and cheese. Let's just say, right? 2 carb-based plates. And then mac and cheese wins, right? Mashed potatoes did surprisingly well, which is insane to me because they're fucking mashed potatoes, which I don't dislike. But, I mean, they're mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes. What are you talking about? Okay, so let's say macaroni and cheese wins, obviously. And then now it's ham versus macaroni and cheese. That would be the next round, right? So what's the difference if you just put macaroni and cheese and ham against each other and then turkey and mashed potatoes against each other? Because inevitably, whoever would win in that first round is going to beat the second one anyway. That's how they work, right? Am I missing something? Because everyone was like, that obviously it could be randomized and it shouldn't matter. That's usually how you do it, you know? But people were fucking complaining and they're like, well, why are you putting these 2 together? They're not even similar. And it's like, they're not going on a 1-to-1 round. It's not just like, hey, which do you like better, Coke or Pepsi? And people were like, Coke. Or it's like, what do you like better? Do you like French fries or do you like Coca-Cola? And people were like, those aren't the same thing. But if I was like, oh, well, we're like rating everything on the McDonald's menu, eventually French fries and Coca-Cola are going to have to come up against each other, you fucking moron. Top 4 Thanksgiving items, essentials. You go first. Tell me. Take your time. Oh my God. Okay, I'll go first. I feel like it's going to be kind of basic. Okay, I understand that. I'm okay with that. I feel like I feel like it's valid. Okay? It's justified. My feelings. Okay? I don't think it's wrong to be kind of bland about these things, especially because some people just haven't had a good version of that thing and then they're just like living a fucking lie. It's a facade, dude. Your happiness is a facade. Look, let's stop fucking around. Okay? Top 4. Number 1, coming at you, turkey. Turkey. Yeah. That easy. Just like obviously, right? And if anyone says otherwise, I don't care. It doesn't have to be number 1. I'm not really putting this in any particular order. Just 4. 4 items, you know? But if turkey's not on your list, like what holiday are you celebrating? People call it turkey. Hey, happy Turkey Day. I don't know why people call it that. Outside of, I don't know, there's a fucking turkey in it. What other time of year do you eat turkey? Turkey burgers, bro? What the fuck? What are you, a cop? There's no way. Turkey. Turkey has to be there. It's like you have, even if I told you if you didn't like turkey. Okay, stop. Shut up. 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 Stop. But if I told you, okay, draw, like, even if you're not a good drawer, right? I gave you a fucking pencil, some coloring sticks. What are those called? Crayons. And a piece of paper. And I told you draw out like a Thanksgiving, like a table with Thanksgiving on it. You might draw that fucking little cornucopia, the Fruit of the Loom thing. You might draw maybe some green beans, some cranberry sauce, but you're definitely drawing a turkey, right? Maybe even with those little, are they like little kitten mittens that they put at the end of the little bone? Or is that supposed to be the bone? I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's like bone coverings, condoms for the layman. Anyway, turkey. If you're like, oh, turkey's so dry, but turkey doesn't taste like anything, it's always dry. That's because your grandmama can't cook. Sorry, your family can't cook, your grandmama can't cook. You came from a long line of can't cooks, okay? Because you never had a good turkey. My grandmama can make a good turkey. That's how I learned how to make it. Now I make turkey every year at the crack house. And it's like, you don't have to be like if you don't like something, you're not going to go out of your way to say that it's good. Because you could just eat it and be like, this is whatever. And then no one asks you, so you don't say anything. But I don't know how many times someone's been like, yo, I love this fucking turkey. It's fucking good. And even going so far as to say, normally I don't like turkey. This shit cracks. Goddamn right it cracks. Because I know it fucking tastes good, bro. I know, because I fucking wrecked that shit. Okay? Just because your grandmama can't cook turkey doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be on the list. You're a bitch. And so is your grandmama, probably. Number 2. Stuffing. Come on. Stuffing. People are like, it's just bread. Shut the fuck up, bitch. It's just bread. You eat bread and tell me it tastes the same as stuffing. You daft fool. Okay? I've had regular, like, box stuffing. And I've had, like, Thanksgiving, like, really great stuffing. It's always good. It's just carbs, some seasoning, some herbs, some butter, some just different stuff. Sometimes there's, like, meat in it, right? Some vegetables. It's good. It tastes like Thanksgiving bread. I guess. I don't know. But stuffing, dude. Forget about it. It's out of this world. Okay? Okay, my grandma would put fucking stuffing. She would make like a bunch of stuffing. And she would bake like 2 trays of it or whatever, however much, right? But she would get as much as she could and jam it inside of the fucking turkey. So that way, as the turkey cooks, the stuffing's cooking and just soaking up all the fucking turkey juice and butter, which is like 16 pounds of butter. Anyone that knows my grandma knows that's the truth. And by the end of it, dude, that fucking just the stuffing that's inside of the turkey is better than all of the food that anyone ever makes for Thanksgiving. Because it has everything in it. It's perfect. It's the perfect meal. Too much of it will kill you. But it's a risk I'm willing to take every year because I shovel that shit. Because I fucking wreck that shit. Okay? Third thing. I think the people were right about one thing, finally. Mac and cheese. Can't beat it. I feel like this is not, so much of a hot take. Mac and cheese. Everyone loves mac and cheese, right? It's always good. Even like mac and cheese from like most fast food places. Panera mac and cheese, not bad, Blue Box, fine. It's nostalgic mostly, but it's alright. But I also this year tried my hand at making mac and cheese from scratch. Not fucking bad. Not too shabby on the old mac and cheese train. Know what I'm saying? Like, I made it and it was fucking pretty good. I understand the memes now of what good something sounds like when you mix macaroni and cheese. Macaroni in the pot, you know what I'm saying? Read between the lines. Anyway, mac and cheese, really good. Even if it's just like regular, like the way I made it was pretty simple. Just took, a little longer than some, but you can bake it even. That's probably what I would have done different. Bake that bitch. Put some fucking breadcrumbs on top. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? Okay, mac and cheese. Fourth, apple pie. Like I said, I know it sounds basic. I know it sounds like, bro, this sounds like a very Snoopy Thanksgiving. So are the peanuts. People put those little fucking morons on every year. I don't complain about it. They have a fucking whole blimp or whatever with him on it. But I'm all for it. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. Pumpkin pie, too basic. There's no way to like really spruce up pumpkin pie, Like the best pumpkin pie is probably just a little bit better than like the cheapest pumpkin pie. Do I think that's a hot take? Fuck if I know. I don't eat pumpkin pie. That's for fucking grandmas to eat. And children. Cheering. Okay? Pumpkins are for carving jack-o'-lanterns, not eating. Okay? There's my hot Thanksgiving take. But I think apple pie, you get like a cheap apple pie, not bad, pretty good. But then you get a really good apple pie with like fucking the vanilla bean ice cream on top. Oh my god, dude, bro. And you get it in fucking like straight out the fucking oven, piping hot. Like you didn't even put it on the fucking windowsill so the little like white lines could come off of it and like capture the attention of a fucking little scoundrel down the street, wafting it in and making him float. And as he breathes it in, fuck all that. Straight out the oven, onto a plate, scooping a giant dollop of vanilla bean ice cream and just watching it melt. God. Nut. That's what I'm saying. That's my perfect Thanksgiving dinner. Some turkey, some stuffing, mac and cheese, and big old slice of apple pie. God. It's like a dream come true to me. It's like the best thing that could ever happen to me. That's usually that's why I make turkey and ham every year. And then usually Raymond makes stuffing, and every year I'm like, do not fuck this up. You do not want to fuck this up right now. You're going to ruin our whole friendship right now. And he doesn't. He fucked it up one year, but it was fine. I think he fucked it up and it was like still okay, but it wasn't good. Like it was like whatever. But yeah, Thanksgiving. I want to know what your top 4 is, but you took too long, so just kind of, you could post it somewhere. Maybe you could send it to me, send it to my email. Send me a postcard with your 4 favorite Thanksgiving things, right? But also, pretty recently, some pretty big changes have happened. Some pretty big changes have happened in our country very recently. Something that I feel like I can't not talk about. I can't continue to do this show and just act as if nothing happened. As if there wasn't like a major change recently in this country. And it's something that I think really shocked people. I think it's something that also a lot of people were really anticipating and really saw it coming. It's kind of like it's inevitable, you know? And I think that's what kind of threw everyone else off. But it's something that really shook this country to its core since the last time it happened. And for me personally, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it's back, because I have been waiting for the McRib to make its return forever. And it's something that I feel like is essential to this country. And, you know, McDonald's itself is just such a huge part of this country's essence and being that I could not talk about it, having seen it and had it just recently. Apparently also Donald Trump became president again, because this country is filled with morons. So that's cool. So we'll talk about both things. Do you have time? I don't know if are you busy? You know, what are you doing? I just imagine someone like forgetting that it's like a podcast, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just changing," and then they're like, "What the fuck? Like, how did you get in my head like that?" That's still one of the things I think about. I talked about it before, where it's like what people do when they listen at all hours, and not only that, but like how do you listen to at all hours? Like, do you put like an AirPod in and you're like walking and just listening to it? Are you like in your car driving and you just have it on, so I'm like everywhere around you? Do you have it on like a speaker and like you're getting ready and you just kind of have it on like playing, or like on your phone, you know? Then it sounds like we're just on the phone talking. That's what it's kind of it's kind of weird to me, you know. Anyway, what do you guys want to talk about first? The McRib or Donald Trump? Getting kind of tense in here, huh? Like if someone's like like someone's driving and like on a road trip, and they're like two of them, they're both like different. You know, one's like Republican, one's really Democrat. And they're like, "Oh, you should listen to my friend's podcast." Put it on, and then they're like, "So what do you guys think of Donald Trump?" And they both look at each other like, "So fucking, was he like a political thing?" Like, "No, dude, I don't know. He never really talks politics." Well, guess what? This just turned into a political podcast. I guess I could talk about Donald Trump first. McDonald's Trump. I didn't even put that together, that it's McDonald's and Donald Trump. I did not plan. I'll admit, like a little peek behind the curtain. I liked the joke, right? Okay, obviously, I kind of tried to set it up. It was like a little, you know, I can't believe this thing's happening in our country, and then it's just the McRib that I'm talking about. I did not even cross my mind that I was talking about McDonald's and Donald Trump. Maybe this episode will be called McDonald's Trump. Or it won't. I don't fucking know. They never let me pick the name of the episode. I'm like, why don't you just pick something from the episode? And then they're like, get back in that fucking room and sit down and record. And I'm like, no, I don't really feel like it. I'm sad. And they're like, ugh. So tortured. You fucking swear. Anyways, whatever. So Donald Trump's president again, I guess. Because Joe Biden's fucking old and useless. And, which is just, at this point, it's like, the fact that it went on this long, insane. Like, there shouldn't have been this much time that passed for Joe Biden to be the leader of fucking anything. He shouldn't have even been a fucking ice cream man, let alone the leader of this country. Insanity, but whatever. And then, like, last minute, they're like, okay, well, look, he's basically dead. Okay? He's in, like, a standing vegetative state. And he's just, like, on autopilot. But right now, we can't corral him in anymore, so fucking Kamala Harris has got to get in there. And then she gets in, and she's like, I think we still have a chance. And then people are like, a woman? Yeah. I don't think so. Which is insane. Because I mean, both sides are out of their fucking mind. Politics in general are just insanity. But, which is like a whole thing. You give me a couple more drinks and I'll really get into it. But that's not what this podcast is about. Not because I'm afraid to get political, but because, like, who really cares about hearing that all the time? You know? It's just, especially coming from someone who's like, I hope everyone loses, and I hope that the economy crashes, and I hope that we have to resort to killing each other so I can finally let out all these things that so I think people are insane for voting for Donald Trump. I think people are also insane for voting for, like, a third party candidate. Like, just don't go out and vote. That's the same thing. You're throwing away your vote by voting for. I think this guy could really, I think he could really pull through. He's polling at 2%. Like, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? No one's voting for your boy. It's 47%, and then 47%, and your boy's at 6%. I don't think he's gonna pull through. I don't know if that's how polling percentages work, but let's just say you're like, I think they need to really give him a chance. Oh yeah, maybe this will be his year. You fucking moron. So you vote for someone who's not gonna win. Clearly, there's two candidates. That's it. There's two candidates you can vote for. You can either vote for I don't know if I should say all the things that he is, because I just kind of feel like there's a lot of bad words. The guy who's a lot of bad words, he's a bad word to women. He's a bad word to queer people. He's a bad word to other people. He's a racist. He's a fucking sex offender. He's a criminal. He's like, he has a bunch of charges on him. Like, he's an actual criminal. Not just like, oh, I think he's a criminal. I think he's this. I think he's that. It's like, you're just looking at facts. He's an actual criminal. And the people that are voting for him also hate criminals. It's kind of crazy, right? Kind of zealotry, right? I don't know. It's kind of me. I don't know. And then on the other side, it's like, oh my fucking vote for a president with cooties? Ew, dude. That wasn't my joke, but I don't want to say who said it, but it was really funny. Shout out to you. You know who you are. The other one is just the better option, but it's also not a good option because she fucking loves cops. And not the show, because I love cops too, but like, is like, it's just all military. And it's like, well, I don't want to vote for you either, because like, you seem better than him. Well, you are better than him to choose right now, but that doesn't make you a good candidate either. Do you see my side of it now? But I'm also not going to go and vote for some other dumbass who's like, I'm the Green Party. I think we can make a change. And they're like, I think so too. And then you fucking morons all drink the Kool-Aid. And then, you know, it wasn't actually Kool-Aid that they drank. I forgot what it was called. It has like a fucking chafa ass name, but it's not Kool-Aid. It's like Juice Up. That's not it at all. I don't know what it's called, but whatever. If it comes to me, I'll bring it up again. But yeah, pretty crazy, but also not surprising because everyone's really, really divided except for that side. And then it's like some people just hate women, which is, you know, it is what it is. That's really what it was too. It was like people that were going to vote for old man Biden. They're just like, well, I'm not going to vote for them anymore because it's got a fucking chick running the place, you know? That's it. That's all it is. That's all I have to say about it too. Donald Trump's a fucking moron. Like an actual criminal running our entire country, which is what we deserve, which is what our country is now, which is awesome. It's like the movie Idiocracy. If you've never seen Idiocracy, now is the time to watch it. Especially if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it too, like let's say you saw it like me, I watched it like 15 years ago when I was like a teenager. Didn't get it. Went over my head. And I'm sure during like the George Bush era might have made some sense. But also like it just, I don't know, it didn't click. I was a teenager. I was stupid. I didn't understand like the gravity of it. And it's a stupid movie. It's Mike Judge, the guy that did Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill. And it's stupid, but it's really clever. So it's a really good movie to watch. So if you're interested in continuing to be mad about politics and things that are out of control and aren't up to us anyway, regardless, then you should watch Idiocracy. It's a good movie. But yeah, pretty crazy. And then I don't think, one of the things I thought was that I think if Kamala Harris did win, there would be way more riots because nothing happened when Trump won. It was just like he won, and they're like, "Oh, that sucks." It was really horrible. It was like the worst thing that could have happened. But like, there nothing happened. Versus if Kamala Harris won, all the people who are psychotic zealots would have been with guns, would have been just going around and shooting everyone and rioting. Versus now, everyone who like is liberal Democrats, they're all like just crybaby pussies, and that was it. They just got rolled over. Funny how that works. Anyway, so let's get down to, so that was my coverage of politics. Side A sucks because they're fucking weird zealot assholes. Side B sucks because they're fucking cowardly pussies. And side C is completely useless. Just go away. Just don't, you're not going to win. And then not every year, obviously you don't vote every year. But every 4 years, someone's like, I think I could really pull this one through. You're not. Sorry. Just give it up. Just stop. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go say something too much worse already. But now the politics segment is over. Thank God. Now we can get down to the things that we really care about. The McRib. So the McRib is back in full swing. And, you know, it's weird because normally you see like stuff on social media. I've been consuming social media like crazy. It's disgusting. I hate it. I'm sick of it. I'm going to get rid of it. But one of those things is that when you usually go through social media, you come across a lot of different stuff and you're like, oh shit, did you see that this thing is here? Or like this thing is back? And you know, that's kind of it. Like you see it and you're like, oh, we should go get this. I didn't even know this was here or whatever, you know? That's the way a lot of things go now. But I was actually going to my lunch break at my job. At my job that it's like across the street from a McDonald's. Went to McDonald's and got in line. I was like, already knew what I was going to get. And Got in line and I saw just like a little sign to the McRib is back. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And it's weird because I saw it like naturally, like organic, like in nature. You know? You see it organically. You're just, oh, look, sweetheart. Shh. Don't get too close. You'll startle it. You just see like you're out hiking in the woods and there's like a little river, little babbling brook perhaps. And you go up and you're like, oh, look. You just see a McRib. You just see a McRib like lapping at the water. It's barbecue sauce lightly drifting into the river or brook. And as you get closer with your son or daughter and walk up to the river's end, oh, look. As you get closer, you just see its ears perk up. Don't move. And you're just basking in its glory, right? Just watching. And your kid's in awe. This is the first time I've ever seen a McRib. And you're like, shut the fuck up. What did I just say? And then he says, there's like, it's like beautiful light shining down on it, sunlight. You just hear, it's completely silent except for like the wind just kind of brushing through the trees, right? You just see this adorable little McRib lapping at the water. Nature's healing, But then your kid steps and cracks a little twig. And it startles the McRib, right? But instead of like running away, kind of just stands and like stares at you. Don't move. Because your child doesn't know that the McRib is an apex predator. And specifically it targets children and drunk college kids. And in this particular case, an overweight 30-year-old guy. And it leaps quickly across the river and jumps at you and your kid, and before you can even get away, it lunges at your kid first, and you're like, no! And before you can even do anything about it, it's already ripping at its legs, ripping its fucking joints out of its sockets, and there's blood everywhere. There's your kid screaming, Dad, help me! And then your kid gets fucking pulled away, and then it gets covered in McRib sauce, and then you never see him again, and then you develop a drinking problem. And your wife leaves you because you let your kid get eaten by a McRib. So I ordered it and tried it, and it's as good as like I remember it. Really, every year it's like, or because it doesn't come out every year, it's every 4 years, just like the presidency. So I don't get it all the time, but when it does come out, I always get it because it's just like every couple of years or something like that. I don't know, but it came out and I like got it and I was like, oh man, fucking McRib, dude. And I tried it and I was like, oh, that's right, this sucks. And I don't even like barbecue sauce. I don't know why the fuck I convinced myself that it's good. It's not good, and it's not good barbecue sauce. Also, barbecue sauce, that's a fucking like children's flavor. You go to McDonald's and you're like, can I get fries, chicken nuggets? Can I get some barbecue sauce? What are you, 7? You want like some kind of smoky molasses? Bro, you're tweaking. If you get barbecue sauce as like your only dipping, like unless you're being like a real fat genius and you're like, bro, check this out, there's a science behind it, and you put down like barbecue sauce, some hot mustard, some buffalo sauce, and you're like, check that out, and you mix that shit up and you're like, try it, it's probably good, right? But if you're just getting like, oh, can I get like 4 barbecue sauces? Bro, you're a child who likes sugar. Grow the fuck up. Okay? Anyway, McRib's back. And McRib's not even my favorite like limited time thing. It's not even good. I just tried it recently and I was like, oh, that was a waste of my money. My favorite thing is a fucking Shamrock Shake, dog. Okay? Hot take. Shamrock Shake, baby. If you've never had a Shamrock Shake, this is what I have to say. Fuck you. That's it. Go ahead and end the episode. Just kidding. It's really good. It's just like a mint vanilla shake. And I don't know why it's so good. I don't even have like vanilla mint ice cream, which I'm guessing is just the same thing. But I'll be goddamn if that fucking green color doesn't draw me in every fucking March. Gets to the end of February, and I'm like, it's coming. I can almost smell it. That's the best. I think there's a few like limited time thing, or like not limited time, I guess, but like what is it? I guess kind of like limited time things where they're just like they come back every so often. Like the McRib's not like on a schedule, right? The fucking Shamrock Shake it's like every March. They have the Shamrock Shake, and then like every couple years or so they'll bring back the McRib, and then it says McRib is back. And I'm trying to think of like something else like off the top of my head that beats this other thing, but there's really nothing else that beats it. I feel like it's like the same affinity I have for the McRib, but the McRib just never delivers. It's just gross barbecue sauce on like a fucking little pork puck. I'll fuck with that. But I get one just like habitually because I'm like, well, fucking McRib, dude. Homer Simpson ate one. Homer Simpson. And I remember kids used to say that all the time. You watch The Simpsons? Shut the fuck up, bro. So one of the things that I always get if I see it, which I don't even remember the last time I saw it, it's probably been like a decade since this came out, is the fucking Double Down from KFC. And I know just saying that, some of you fat fucks are like, oh, yeah, boy, you know what that shit's about, son. You know what that shit's about, son. The fucking KFC Double Down, bro. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Just kidding. I'm here to fucking tell you, you little bitch. Okay? Sorry. Getting a little hot again. I don't mean to be, but to be fair, you're a little bitch. So what is the KFC Double Down? Right? What is it? It's like a concept more than anything, I think. And it's crazy to think that someone did conceptualize it at some point and was like, yo, I got an idea for this shit. And then they showed it to someone else and they're like, what the fuck? Are you serious? This is awesome. And then they fucking made it and they sold it. And I bought like 16 of them in my lifetime. And they haven't been around so long where you can buy like one per year. Like I've had like 20 to 40 Shamrock Shakes. That's crazy. It's crazy to say out loud. You know, but usually when the Shamrock Shake comes out, I would get one like maybe 2 in a month. It comes out once a year, you know? Indulge. You get it right when, oh, they fucking came out, and then you get one at the beginning of the month. I'm cool for the rest of the month, and then, oh shit, it's like April 1st, April 2nd. They still have Shamrock. Oh, get a Shamrock Shake, you know? Get 2 past 10 years, that's 20, okay? It's not that much. All right, get off my back. But the Double Down, I've had probably as many times just because it doesn't come around that often. The Double Down is like the sound of animals fighting, okay, of the fast food world. There's not a lot of people there. There's like 3 people who are going to, maybe like my close friends are going to get that joke. The guys are going to get it, and maybe the girls. But that's it. There's going to be like a small handful of people, 6 people tops, that will get that joke. Anyway, yeah. The Double Down. The sound of animals fighting. If you put them side by side, I couldn't tell the difference. Because they're both awesome and just like indulgence in their own right. Maybe? I don't know. But the Double Down is, it's like 2 like fat ass KFC chicken tenders. Right? So you have, I'll build a base for you. Okay, if I remember correctly. It's like a chicken tender I believe it is like cheese, like sliced cheese. I think it's like Swiss cheese, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I couldn't remember. Could have sworn it was like white cheese. I don't know. But cheese, bacon, cheese, and then another chicken tender, and that's it. That's the whole sandwich. It's basically a bacon cheese sandwich, but instead of bread, it's just two fat ass KFC chicken tenders. And then you're probably thinking like, sounds, sounds good. It just sounds like a lot. And it fucking is. It's like eating at Tommy's. If you've never had Tommy's, bro, Tommy's is just like disgusting, delicious indulgence. It's a fucking LA staple. Like, you can't be from LA and never have you don't have to like Tommy's. That's per person. That's preference. But if you've never tried it and you're like, it's not really for me. Giant chili cheeseburgers. They sell just like chili boats where you just be like, I'm just going to drink my chili in this little fucking paper boat. That's it. It's like that. Or it's just like disgusting indulgence, but it's awesome. KFC Double Down. I don't even remember the last time it came out. I'm not going to look it up. I didn't plan on even talking about it. I actually have, I've brought this up before. I have like a list of topics that I want to cover per episode. Didn't get to any of them. The only thing I wanted to talk about was the McRib. That was it. And like, here I am talking about the fucking Double Down. It's awesome. It's like the best fucking thing that's ever happened to me. All right, I need to get off the concept of the Double Down. But it is awesome. Especially because, like, I'm so used to seeing, like, one of the biggest things. Like, I don't go on TikTok at all. I don't even have, like, a TikTok. But I go on YouTube for everything. Like, YouTube, I'm like a fucking 6-year-old child. And he gives me my big iPad in the OtterBox, and I just stand there and I hop around and I touch my iPad. I watch Bluey and I eat Cheetos and lick my fingers and tap my iPad. I lay down in my little Minecraft onesie and I like lay down all crazy on the bed and I play with my little iPad. So I watch YouTube and I watch like different food influencers a lot. Like I really love like food influencers, chefs, and like cooking in general. I really, really love that. And I feel like there's not like a lot of people that know that. Kind of sad. I don't really talk about it because it's just not like, I feel like one of the things that comes up all the time is like music. Because I think it's just like everyone listens to music. And granted, it's like different kinds of like music that people listen to or like how involved they are in how they listen to music. But everyone listens to music, but not everyone cooks. Not everyone's like too keen on like making food or eats good food or, whatever. But it's something I've always been like in love with. And I have like some of my favorite chefs that I like followed since I was a fucking kid. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch some Greg Lore. I used to watch the Food Network when I was a kid. Mostly because I was a huge scaredy cat. And like when I was a kid, there would be like if I were to put on like Cartoon Network at night, it becomes Adult Swim. So when I was a kid, I would get scared of like some of the commercials for movies that were coming on, and I didn't want to watch it because I'd get scared in the middle of the night. And I didn't want to watch the Disney Channel because it was gay. So I put on the Food Network because also a little fat ass. And I put it on and I just watched the Food Network because the Food Network never aired commercials for like, it was like they never aired like regular commercials. It was just like food stuff or like promoting other shows or whatever it is, like promoting chefs or I don't know, but they never played regular commercials. And that's why I always put it on. And I ended up always watching people cook. And then when I was really young, my parents always encouraged me to cook and like showed me how to cook. So I just always loved cooking. And seeing like influencers do food reviews and stuff, it's so fucking like cringy to watch, where they're like, today I'm going to be reviewing every frozen pizza, and then they try it and they're like, oh, this is vile, this is disgusting, this is literally the most disgusting thing I've ever had. Oh my god, do you see this? This looks like fucking like a baby shit in a diaper and poo-pooed in his. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Either you're obviously you're acting. It's probably fine. Or if it's not enjoyable, it's probably not as bad as you're making it out to be. Obviously, you're a content creator. But it's like, doing food reviews is just stupid to me, because if you do like an honest food review, you're like, it can get kind of boring if you're just eating regular food. You know, that's the thing. It's like, because I've done, I had a YouTube channel where I reviewed food with my friend Raymond. But the crux of the show wasn't about like, oh, is this good or is it not good? It was about, it was like a certain type of food. And I went out of my way to try to find a mix of different things that would get bad reactions, things that would get good reactions. So the whole thing wasn't like, just like, ugh, just eating gross things from this place, which is just, you know, no shit. No one would like that. But it's also not like taste testing these things and you're like, oh, these are all like kind of tasty, because then that's boring. But like taste testing a bunch of like foods, and then you're just like, oh, this is kind of, I don't know, it's not that good. Like, you really have to ham it up, and it's just annoying to watch, where you're like, come the fuck on, dude. Like, someone eats the double down and they're just like, oh, this is vile. Oh my god, look at this thing. This is disgusting to even look at. Bro, get the fuck over it. I don't know where people get off. I don't know why people make videos like that, where they're just like reviewing food. I feel like this is something I want to get more into. Maybe I should write this down. But I want to get into this a little more. Maybe my love of cooking, my affinity for food, chefs, and things of that nature, I'll get into a little more. But I think I'm going to end the episode by at least throwing some shade. Right? I should. Because the only thing I hate more than those things, which is there's a few people who have done stuff like that, where they're just like, oh, this is disgusting. And you're like, oh my god, you're such a fucking, like, you're either being honest and you're a little bitch about everything, or you're obviously just playing it up because it's a YouTube video. And it's like, just make a different video then. Like, it's so cheap. Whatever. What I want to throw shade at is to something that I feel is just purely clickbait, which is people who do videos that are like, you know, you can spend this much money buying this meal, or you can make it at home for this much. And they're like, oh, you could spend $16 on this burger and fries at some restaurant, or you can make it at home for $4. And then you're like, tell me, Josh Wiseman, how do you do that? And he's like, well, don't worry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spend $60 on these different cuts of meat and grind them in my home grinder that I have already bought. And I'm going to grind it down into this perfect mix of meat. But I'm only going to use $1 worth of that full $60 of meat that I bought in my $200 meat grinder. Okay? Now I'm going to get that, and I'm going to make my own bread. but I'm going to have to buy all these different ingredients, but I'm only going to use 10 cents worth of this, 16 cents worth of this, 15 cents worth of this to make my own homemade dough. And I'm going to make my own mayonnaise from scratch. Instead of spending $3 on mayonnaise, just make your own by buying a dozen eggs and some oil and this and that and make it from scratch. But you're only using 10 cents of each ingredient. And you're like, that's not how things work, you idiot. I hate that shit. I know it's clickbait, and I know it's how YouTube works, and I know it's like Mr. Beast, just making videos to be like clickbaitable. I just hate it when people, because the thing is, you want to make a food review video, fine. You want to ham it up and be like, oh, this is vile. Oh, this is so, whatever. It's for entertainment. That's usually not why you're there. You're usually watching it because you're watching the person, because you think they're entertaining, they're funny. It's not a real review. It's just kind of like a basis to make a video. It's like you're watching them as entertainment rather than a legit food review. Like, whatever. There's like two people that'll know what that's from. But like, I get that part of it. That's why it's not upsetting about the videos. It's more upsetting of just like, it's so hard to suspend disbelief when they're eating like Domino's pizza and they're like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my entire life. I can't even wrap my head around how someone would eat this garbage. And you're like, you might not like it or it might not be good, but it's like, get over it. There's no way, like, whatever. This is clearly like just a video about you being funny. I get it. But when you present a video that is you telling people like, this is how you can save money by cooking at home, and you lie about it, fuck off. And fuck you, Josh Wiseman. I fucking hate that stupid asshole. Like, I was subscribed to this guy, Josh Wiseman. Shout out to Josh Wiseman. And I was subscribed to him for a long time because he just makes like cooking videos, which I'm all into. I'm all about. Okay. You make a fucking cooking video, dude, you best believe I'm going to fucking watch it. You have a little bit of personality. Come on. Chef John, right? Binging with Bing Bong, dude, I'm all there. Okay. I like watching cooking shows. Dude, I grew up watching, I literally just told you about watching the Food Network when I was a little fucking scaredy fat kid. Okay. Okay. Were you even paying attention back there? The fuck, dude, get your head in the game. So yeah, I like watching cooking videos a lot, all the time, in fact. But then if you're making like a meal and you're just making a dish, awesome. 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 I love it. If it looks nice, a little stylized, cool. But whatever. It just, as long as you're explaining the dish that you're making and it looks, it looks like a good dish, cool. I'm all for it. But when you start making videos where you're like, oh, look, you can go out and buy pad thai at your restaurant for $12, or you can make it at home for $6. Right? That's a pretty good selling point, because then it's like they shows you the pictures where it's like, or the video, it's like you could spend $12 on this, and it's like pad thai that's like in like the little styrofoam clamshell, or make pad thai at home for $6 and it looks like this, and it's like on this like nice plate. It's like perfectly plated. It's like sprinkling in fucking whatever peanuts on it, and you're like, wow, that's sure, yeah, I'll learn how to make pad thai for $6. I love pad thai. Are you fucking kidding me? I love pad thai. Okay, so then you watch the video and he's like, so you're gonna get $2, spend $2 on this bag of noodles, and you're like, that's not bad. $2 bag of noodles, cool. And then it's like, you're gonna use about 40 cents worth of this thing. And you're like, okay, well, I have that. It's, this much. Okay, I could just use that much. And then he's like, and then you're going to have these 15 sauces and ingredients, but you're only going to use 7 cents of each. And you're like, well, I don't have those. He's like, well, go buy them. And you're like, well, now I'm spending like $80 on a bunch of ingredients I didn't already have. And yeah, now that I have them, I guess technically I would be making it for $6 a time. But now it's like I have to make like pad thai every fucking meal. Now he's like, it only takes 6 minutes. And you're like, ugh. Okay, cool, I guess. So now I do have all the ingredients, and you're like, ugh, whatever. I went to spent $60 on a bunch of ingredients that I didn't have now, and I guess now I have pad thai stuff, so that's cool. Well, let me try to find something. He's like, you could either spend $20 on this burger, fries, and shake, or you could spend $6 on this, and you're like, okay, well, I've been eating nothing but pad thai for the past 4 days, so I guess I'll try to look this up. $4 especially. I just spent $60 on pad thai stuff, so I guess I'll make this. And he's like, well, go buy all these ingredients. Well, I mean, it's not even like go buy these ingredients. It's just like use 4 cents of this ingredient you already have. And you're like, I don't have that. What do I do now? He was like, go buy it. And it's $4. This one ingredient costs the same amount as what I'm telling you the entire cost of this thing is for the entire finished product. So you can either spend $12 on this meal, or you can go to your local market and spend $60, make it at home, make it worse, and then feel bad about yourself. And that is At All Hours, episode whatever the fuck, I forgot already. We're back to your regularly scheduled shitty programming. Thank you guys for hanging in there and for sticking around. It means the most. And I'll see you again next week. I promise. This time I actually do promise. I'm just going to the store to get a pack of smokes, some milk, but I will be right back. Okay, bye.